Oh, hey, there's people. Hello, people. It's so good to see you all in chat. And to know that you guys are here. Let me mute this. Okay. I know my sound is working. Everything's working. Hi, Gareth. Hey, Crimson. Is Bunny Lovin' around too? I'm sure she is. Ball GM. Yes, we have sound. I always leave this on for a second just to make sure my sound is working. And I'm happy it's working. The camera looks good. And that was crazy. I spent the last 45 minutes trying to figure out how to make the graphic because I wanted to put a little bit about the characters I paint. So I put this additional little graphic in there. But I hate to say it, Streamlabs, your type, it leaves a lot to be desired. So I basically brought it in Paint and fixed it. I think it looks pretty good as long as you guys can all read it. So I wanted to put a little bit about Yento. He's the character that I'm painting, and he's for our Skull and Shackles game. And I guess I should get out my brushes. But yeah, I was going nuts, and then I figured it out, and then I realized, went upstairs, poured a drink, and left it sitting upstairs. Because I'm also apparently going senile. I'm after, I'm over 50, so senility is a thing, right? So I am so glad to see you, all you guys in chat. I'm well on my way. By the way, I have to thank you all because I'm well on my way to affiliate because of you. And you also make the show so much fun to do. I use my own hair. No, thank you, Gareth. But I need to thank you because, yeah, you guys are responsible for, first of all, me being so well on my way to affiliate, and most importantly, for making this such a fun experience. If there wasn't anybody to chat with, I'd just be sad. I'd be sitting here painting and doing what I normally do. And while I have people who live here. They're not painting. Well, one's a painter, but he doesn't paint nearly as much as I'd like. And my husband doesn't paint at all. So it's fun to talk to people who actually know and are interested in this. And a lot of you. It gives, it's nice because I also have been missing out on conventions where basically I do this all day. So, but conventions are coming back. So I'm going to finish this guy. And I do have an announcement when I start the next one about what I'm going to do with it. So he is well on his way. I have to paint. Let's see. What have I got left to paint? I got his little bow there. And I got his eye patch. And of course I got this awesome ladle that he's using for a weapon. And then there's the base. And because he's fairly heavy, even though the base is kind of smallish, it's not that small. For those of you who know me and constantly ride me because I don't always put my ones that have the little bases that look all right, I don't put them always on big bases and they tip over. And I get a lot of crap from that. But this guy should be fine. And if worse comes to worse, I'll base him. I'll add bases later. Let's see. That's not the brush I want. I have a bunch of brushes. Where is the brush I want? Where is the brush? It's not it either. Am I missing it? I'm looking for my 000 brush that's actually in good shape because that one isn't. It may, I wonder if I left it upstairs and I'm not going to go grab it. Oh, here it is. I want that to paint that little tiny thing here, that tie around his neck. Hey, Rathmore, good to see ya. See you on chat because God knows I can't see any of you. Maybe I need to set this up like a zoom. We need to have a zoom element where I can see pictures, see all of your lovely faces. Happy Saturday to you too. Too bad it's going to be too freaking short. So, alright, so that's what I have left. I think I'm going to go with the obvious thing. I'm going to go with the little necktie. And I went to my hubby, and because that's who I'm painting for, and I asked him what he would like me to do with some of these elements. Yeah, you can see me, I know. Well, when you guys are all streaming, I can see all of you, and you can't see me. Nee, 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 nee. I am so glad, by the way, I joined the Pyros. I'm on your Discord now, so you're all in trouble. Then again, I guess, you're all used to Big Jim. So I think I'm mild compared to him. Although he was up my neck of the woods yesterday. So he was up here at Hodgie's, which is an ice cream stand like 5 minutes from my house. And it has the best ice cream. I'm sorry, Kimball's. Anybody from New England will know what I'm talking about. Hey, bunny! Little bunny, foo-foo. I'm kidding. But anyways, anybody who know what I'm talking about. Kimball's is like the famous one from around here, from New England. And everybody goes there. And they're legendary for the sizes of their servings. But so is this place, actually. So the place I'm talking about said they're called... Yeah, Kimball's is pretty good, but Hodgie's... And I hate to say it, I grew up on Kimball's, and I felt like it was sacrilegious. I don't know ranks. The one that's near me is Hodgie's, and they are, oh God, they're incredible. I said I felt bad. Actually, now I've said it now that Hodgie's is better than Kimball's. I love cookies and cream ice cream, and that's my favorite. And theirs is better. They have more cookies in it. Wonderful flavor. And so I was definitely jealous of the pictures he was posting last night on the server. Alright, so I'm going to get a little red because, as I said, I consulted with hubby about what color he wanted, but the funny thing is I sort of thought this myself, that I wanted it red, just to give it a little bit of a pop and a difference and something interesting to look at. Your eye's going to tend to travel around the blue anyways. That'll carry everything around because I got blue, over a lot of this. So, let's see. Do you want to get a little more paint on there? I don't think it's quite all filled in. I keep thinking with these glasses, I feel like a school marm. So now that I'm thinking about Hodgie's, maybe we'll drag our friends out tonight. We have a couple of friends. Hang on, Kevin. We're having a couple friends come over because we're going to start a vampire game. Because I don't have enough games to play. I have like 5 games I'm in already, so why not add another? And it's still a game. I haven't filled in all, 24 hours, 7 days a week with games yet, so why not? Now, as for Crimson's question there of did my husband Joe enjoy his bonus day off, he did. Although, so basically when they signed into law that Juneteenth was going to be a holiday, my husband is he works as a government contractor for the Passport Center. Yes, Gareth, Vampire the Masquerade. Although not the LARP version, the tabletop version. Yay, buddy! But yeah, he did enjoy his day off, but he worked overtime, and basically his company, if you don't put in 40 hours, you don't get paid time and a half. He'll get paid for the extra hours, but yeah, so he's losing the half on the 3 hours he put in for overtime this week. And but no regrets. He really did like having the day off yesterday. It meant that he could stay up and he could watch the Critical Role wrap up with me, because that went till silly late o'clock. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm like a vampire. I don't sleep a lot. But also meant that he could do some things around the house, because actually tomorrow we're having a very belated sort of birthday party for me, because I turned 50 earlier this year. But we want to make sure everyone's vaccinated, and we thought if we did it in June, the weather would be nicer. And we originally planned to do it on Memorial Day weekend, but it poured buckets. So we said, can we change that? So it ended up getting moved to this weekend. So he was able to do some prep work for it. All right. Now, this is actually an interesting question that I do hear is, how do you highlight red? Now, there's plenty of you on my stream that are experienced mini painters. You probably know the answer to this, but since not everybody does, the answer I have that I do. Now, you may find another way. It also depends on what you're shooting for. If you want something that's more, if you want to go towards pink, then you can highlight it pink. But I want to keep it red looking, and I don't want it to shift towards pink. So what I highlight it with is orange. And let me see, I've got a bunch of boxes of paint because I brought all my Pathfinder paints up here. Sure, Cavalier Orange is a good color. Yeah, well, the thing is, it's like everything else. Crimson says, I've never highlighted red. But the thing of it is, if you're highlighting a lot of your other areas, I think it looks a little strange if you don't highlight your reds. And orange really is the key. Yeah, it's it. If I'm going to go that much, I'm only going to go with the orange because it's such a tiny little area, Rathmore, but with the tiniest bit of clear yellow at the very top, or pure yellow, that works too. Oh, well, I'm sorry. You know what, Crimson? He's saying sarcasm. But, unfortunately, when you're on a stream and you're on chat and I can't see you, I can't see you or hear you, I can't pick up the clues. Yeah, Gareth depends on how sharp a highlight I use orange. Yellow would be really good if you wanted a really sharp highlight. And if you're going for like a glare, like the light's totally glowing. Although most things that are red, unless you're doing like something shiny red, you don't want to go totally to white. But white is great when you want something like watery or like that metallic. All right, so I'm going to try to put a little bit of, oh my god, it's so tiny. It's so tiny, I'm probably going to nail things that I don't want to nail. Oh, that looks okay. Okay. I may go back in and do some of the, go back in towards and hit it with a little bit of red. And this goes with the whole thing of, it just really doesn't matter how much you play with a mini on how good it comes out in the end. This thing is so small. If it's not enough contrast, then go a little lighter. I find on really small areas where you have, really small areas, I find actually going stronger is better. I think I'm going to go a little lighter. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little tiny bit of light. Well, I know your army is red. That's true. You do like edge lighting on your army though, right, Crimson? You edge line it. God knows, I remember edge lining. Not so much the last guy, the commander there. He wasn't too bad. But edge lining your other one I did for you, that took forever. And I'm still not sure why. It took so long. But it looked good. There we go. Because I've got such a... There we go. That looks a lot better. Because it's so tiny, I want the highlight to stand out a little more. And I think I'm going to add a little red back into that top one. Because I feel like it's looking a little too orange. I am so excited about what I'm going to paint next. There we go. Yeah. That looks good. Actually, I keep looking at his eye. I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to add a little... I've tried to go light around his eyes. I'm trying to play with that and make that the guy liner or the eyeliner look a little less prominent on my stuff. I feel like I've lost a little bit, so I'm going to go back on that. This is how I work. I'll like be painting something, then I'll notice something going, and then I'll have to go fix it immediately because that's who I am. Oh god, this is like... I'm so afraid I'm going to screw it up. I don't even know if that did anything. Let's see, what did you say? Yeah, crimson. I use a lighter red since my red is dark. That's true. On the Blood Ravens, your red is dark. And then if I really need it, then I swap to orange. Yes, that makes a lot of sense to me. That's what I would do too, actually, if I was painting red. On this guy, I said I did kind of a... Oh my god, I'm so nervous. And so, yeah, I got a little extra outside, but that's okay. It was what... I don't want to get it into the eye. I don't mind getting outside because I don't mind repainting that. Or trying to brush it away. I don't want it on the inside of my eye. Okay, I think that's a little bit more defined on the under part of his eye. I think I'll redefine the top part too. That's funny though. I think it's... my light might be killing me too. Alright. I think I have another light here to help illuminate things because, I mean, I have a light on my camera, a ring light on these, which is really cool. That looks a little better now. Now I see some definition on the eye. So I think it might be also screwing with the way I'm seeing it. So we'll see. What do I want to do next? Actually, he's also got some... You know what? I'm going to do one other little additional thing. And I'm going to use craft paint to do it. I think there's little things on this, and I think I just want to add a little bit of white to it. And since I got the paint pot here, and it'll match up nicely, I think that'll look good. I feel like the pockets are a little too blue and not enough. They'll fit in better if I do this. Yeah, I know, craft paint the horror. But here's the thing. A lot of times when I use craft paint, sometimes I'll do it like this, but a lot of times when I use it, it's actually to mix in with the game paints. Because I don't feel like spending $5 for something I'm just going to use to mix in with things. And I find it actually works all right. Also, if I'm doing something like, let's say, Tiamat, the, foot-tall dragon, and I'm going to use a ton of paint, you better believe I'm using craft paint. It's just too much money to spend. And you know what? It comes out all right. Don't even tell you can't use craft paints. Yeah, look, Trad is like making fun of me. And I know they're all being sarcastic. I'll bet you all use craft paint at some point in your life. But yeah, I mean, for the most part, I do like the gaming paints. I do bring craft paints to my paint and takes because mostly I want people to try it out first before, to make sure that they like the hobby. And especially if I'm doing conventions, I do get kids. Actually, there was a kid at the last painting party, but I do find I get kids a lot at conventions, and they tend to go through a lot of paint if I'm not paying attention. Although they've been pretty good though. A lot of times if I remember to actually sit down and say to them, hey, it's a small mini, you only need a little tiny bit of paint, they'll actually do that. I'm going to just go in there and touch that up. See, everyone, I make mistakes too. Yes, with big scenery pieces, craft paints, but yeah, and you know what, Bald GM, I've seen some of your, you posted pictures of those scenery pieces, and they are so cool. But yes, you said, yes, with big centerpieces, I use craft paints, but also make my own washes. Oh, that's neat. Rod craft paints come in handy. It said I do. I think craft paints, they don't quite have the right consistency, but I think, yeah, Buddy Levin, Martha Stewart makes great pearlized paint. That's the thing. Craft paint, you can get some of the more fun things out there that you can't. Pearlized paint, though, you can actually achieve by using Vallejo's metal medium. I did. Actually, he's right here. I have this really cool, the flail snail, which I don't remember what it's actually called. But it's this guy. And the shell was done by using the Vallejo metal medium mixed in, so it made a lovely pearl. I'm so happy with the way this guy came out. So, but for conventions and such where I have a lot of people, I tend to use craft paint. And basically a lot of it is, I want you to be able to try the hobby before you spend a lot of money, because it's nothing like, buying $100 worth of paints. I mean, that's not even that many bottles of paint, but buying like $100 worth of paint and a mini, and if you're Games Workshop, those minis can be very pricey. And then of course the brushes and everything. There's nothing like doing that and then finding out you really don't like painting. I love to push the hobby on people, but I don't ever try to be forceful, because then they'll resent it more. And believe me, I've tried it on my husband. He just won't do it. And it's just not, while I want everybody who wants to paint to get into it, I realize too, it's not everybody's cup of tea. And that's fine. That keeps people like me in business. If it wasn't for those of you who don't like to paint, then I wouldn't have anybody to do commissions for. So, does anybody have any questions or comments about what I'm doing or anything else? How your Saturdays are going, or I want to do his eye patch. Let's see, what paint boxes do I have a blue on the floor? I think I'm going to go with a lighter blue, like a fairly bright blue. I could even probably use, I have a contrast paint that actually is that sort of color, but I think I don't want to go quite that bright. Well, let me see what I got. Oh, I do have some. Maybe I'll go with Andoran blue. I want something that's a little different than the rest of them, so he's not just all the same shade of... If you notice, I do have some different shades of blue on this guy. So, like, his pants are slightly lighter than the jacket. I think I'll go a little lighter in the eye patch. Can you have... Why do you want... You know what? Oh, God. Crimson, I know I remember you asking me that a long time ago, asking me for $5. No, you still can't have $5. Especially since you're not here for me to actually give you $5. And Gareth, is that Tree Fitty? Is that for the next Reaper Bones Kickstarter that comes out? Although I bet you Tree Fitty won't cover it. That was like, I am probably gonna do an unboxing at some point when I get my Reaper Bones Kickstarter. If people would like to see what I spent all the money on. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's true. That's right. I do remember you telling me that. Kevin said, asking for $5 is my generic. Does anyone have a question response? I bought a lot more than just the core pledge. I got the pirate ship. And I got 3 of the expansions. But, let's face it, the Greek expansion I thought looked just really cool. And my husband's a real history nut, so I like to get things that he'll like too. I did not get the samurai set, although that was they're all cool sets. What else? And then, of course, I thought the brine winds, basically you have like a brine wind above the sea set, and then you have the under the sea set. And I thought those 2 expansions work really well together. With all the freaking pirates and everything I'm collecting, I should just go out and get it. Oh, by the way, folks, see, I don't have one of those. I don't have the warthog or whatever people want to call them. I don't have the mixer. I still mix these myself. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I just have to go back and keep mixing until I'm happy with it. Otherwise, if somebody wants to send me one, I'll use it. But a lot of times too, my painting setup is very mobile because I do paint on my breaks at work. So I move around a lot. So having a lot of extraneous stuff doesn't make a lot of sense because I'm not going to use it half the time. Although, now that I'll probably be getting my own studio soon, I probably could fill it with stuff like that if I can afford it. I want a 3D printer too at some point because, you know, everybody needs a 3D printer these days, right? Yeah, get in there. Ooh, I like the color. I think hubby will be happy with it. But I said my hubby will be happy anything I pay for him because he doesn't have to do it. Let's see. So what have we got here? Okay, so the Bald GM. Oh man, if I do that kind of unboxing, Bones 5, only one expansion did I not buy. Oh god, you bought all the expansions but one and all the dragons twice? So wait, Bald GM, did you which expansion didn't you buy? That'd probably be easier than saying what you did. It said I bought the what else did I bought the mammoth, just like Gareth did. I did buy the mammoth. I buy dinosaurs because my husband loves dinosaurs. At some point I'll start painting them up. I did get a lot of his Cthulhu stuff done. I still have some of the big monsters to do for him. I have great Cthulhu sits behind me. Oh, you didn't get... See, I love that set. Because all the pirate and the pirate themed stuff. I love pirates! Although I'm not wearing a pirate shirt today. I'm wearing a Pathfinder shirt because this character's a Pathfinder character. I mean, all their expansions were great. I'm not into the future stuff as much, so I didn't get like the chronoscope. Yeah, someday we'll paint it out. No, yeah, maybe you will, but I actually fully admit that I said that I was never going to paint everything I bought. There's no way. And basically, it gives me a bit of it gives me a selection that if I'm running a game or playing a game, that I can just go in there and look for a mini that will work for a character I'm doing. That's sort of what this stream's about, is I actually want to show... What the hell? Oh, no, that's okay. Basically, I want to show, you know, how to basically realize your PCs. I'm also hoping that maybe some of you will toss me some suggestions of your PCs that you'd like to see immortalized on here. Although I should be getting a commission for a Hero Forge one. I don't know when, but at some point. And I will paint it on here because it is a PC. It's a hero, so it qualifies. Yeah, I have. Oh yes, I have painted one of yours, Kevin, or Crimson. Maybe someday I'll remember just to use the Crimson. All right, so I did maybe I want a little highlight. Where's my crafty paint? Well, I have to actually paint them on here, so if that's what you mean, I can use them. I don't care. Oh yeah, that's fine. I mean, yeah, if anybody didn't want me to actually, you know, paint their hero on here, that's fine. But I need actually active suggestions, and mostly while I will do some Hero Forge stuff, I want to kind of stick to, you know, stuff that's more inexpensive, you know, a little more friendly price point, like taking the Reapers and converting them. I do have a list of things I am going to do on stream. At least the next couple things. Oh, name. Oh, your name. Yeah, that's right. I know you don't care, but it's a habit I should get into of using your actual stream name so everybody knows who I'm talking to. I'm going to go a little lighter. It's one of the things that's small, so I really want it to be a pretty good highlight on this. Why doesn't it seem to want to be sticking real well? There we go. There we go. Pink frogs. I'm hoping that, you know, when I can start doing things like this, I want to actually make some more fun emojis to use on here. I'm going to add a little more dark into that. Alrighty. Alright, eye patch done. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is the ladle. Hubby asked for a cast iron looking ladle. So I find something that there, even though there are dark silvers, I find that they're like not usually ever dark enough for my liking, so I usually add black to them. Let's see. Not that one. I'm gonna look at my Reaper paints here. I wish somebody would actually just make a paint called cast iron. There's cold iron, which actually isn't bad. It's pretty dark, but I think I might want to even make it darker. There, all my paint boxes are now next to me. Oh, excuse me. So I said, yeah, I'm going to use cold iron to start this, and I'm going to debate whether or not I want to actually make it a little darker. Because cast iron, if you look, your cast iron, lead belch is still a little light, though. I mean, I'm thinking, I guess a lot of times when I think of cast iron, I think of like this pan my mother has. Or had. I don't know if she still uses it. But it was around my entire life when I was growing up. And it was really, really black. I do have adamantine black, but I think cold iron's a little more. I said adamantine black, actually, and cold iron do come in the same thing. I will take a look at it. Once I figure it, yeah, it's this one. They're actually very similar. Maybe adamantine is a tiny bit darker. But I still find that I like them to look almost black with a sheen to it. Maybe I'll try adamantine. Sure, why not? I am always up for suggestions from chat. And black craft paint, which I'm running out of. So yeah, both of these are pretty. Both of these are dark. Actually, they look. Yeah, this one's a shade darker, but they're actually very similar. But what the heck? I'll use it. I had what the hell is it called from P3? A lot of times before I had those paints, I had pig iron. That's what it is from P3. But I always find this is not quite dark enough for my liking. Of course, remember, you guys can paint things the way you want. And if you find that what I like is too dark, you make it lighter. Do what you want to do. Look at this. I'm using the pokey stick. because my paint's not coming out. There we go. I think I still want it a tiny bit darker. So I have a brush I use I have a crappy brush I use just for mixing paint. Don't ever use your good brushes for it. I always wince when I see people use good brushes to mix paint, because the paint gets up in the ferrule and it will screw up your brush. Alright, so. And you know what I'll also do with that brush is I'll just leave it sitting in the water, which you should never do with your brushes either. Yes, Pokey Tool! By the way, one of the reasons why I want to get the all 3 swag boxes is I want the special Pokey Tool. Is that bad? Alright, so here we go. I'm trying to go a step darker than even adamantine, because I want it really black with a bit of a sheen. Yeah. You know what else I really love about those? I still have to order mine. But you know what else I really love that comes in those swag boxes? Is I love the brush holder. That's got the nautical motif. I just love that thing, and I really want one for my desk. Are you gonna start them right now and paint with your beloved there with Bunny? And how's her dragon looking, by the way? Very green. Oh wait, I thought she was. Oh, she bought a new one, right? Because that's right. She bought one and she did the orange and the red colors on it that you helped her pick out. That we were having a discussion on when I was supposed to be working. Oh, green is. She's gonna have one of every color of the rainbow, isn't she? Roy said, I just promised myself stop buying hobby stuff, and yes, that brush holder, damn it. You know what? You may make those promises, but you'll probably never keep them. I'm a sucker. I'm an absolute sucker for this stuff. I'm still wondering if it's black enough. Whoops. Cover that. I mean, I like it. It's pretty dark, so. I may have to go back and touch up his hand. Yeah, it's pretty black. I think it's good. Can't really get it much more black. I'm gonna kind of very carefully come in here. Fortunately, I tend to do the flesh very early on. So I sort of break my rule that anything that's like recessed, I want to try to paint it first. But in this case, because I just want to do all of the flesh together, keep things consistent. Now I'm trying to paint something in a recessed area. Also, if you all notice, I really keep my hands together. Actually, I kind of like the holder because in this case, it's going to be a really nice place to rest my hand while I do some really getting close to some of these areas. So I don't want to do too much touching up. Ray says, "What do you mean? I make that promise every month just before my paycheck gets in." Well, as long as you pay your bills first, who cares? Spend your money on what makes you happy. That's all that matters. And if hobby supplies make you happy, do it. Buy the hobby supplies. It only becomes a problem if you actually can't afford your bills after you spend money on your hobby supplies. But if you have some left over, sure, why not? Spend it on the hobby supplies. Keeps our favorite companies in business, too. I don't know what I'd do if Reaper went out of business. Alrighty. Nope, there's a little bit of a missed spot right there. I buy from Reaper every month to get the free minis, and of course I buy enough for free shipping. Rod, I do not buy from Reaper every month. I have so many minis here that I just can't justify it. But I will put orders frequently enough. And usually they'll be fairly big orders because I'll let everything build up. Speaking of ordering, and speaking of things going on, who here, because I know some of you here also follow him on Twitter, who here is doing the Theraval and Friends 2 challenge? Because I'm going to give you a secret that I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it in July, and I'm going to do it on the stream. Even though it doesn't really, it's not like a hero or whatever. I guess I could find a game to put it in. It's not something from a game I've played, but it's a special thing. And I guess part of it too is I'm still debating when I want to get the metal one or the plastic one, because I'm thinking of trying to paint it up really well and put it in one of the competitions for conventions that I'm going to. Because I'm going to do Gen Con and I'm going to do ReaperCon, which I think is also nuts because they're within 2 weeks of each other. All right, I'm going to touch that up. There we go. Bunny, yeah, I know Bunny's doing the tree. She was putting out calls for what color. I said I saw a lot of suggestions for of course the traditional colors, green and brown. But, I know Bunny's listening. I said, feel free to check Google out for all sorts of, maybe some interesting color things. I mean, the one that pops to mind is like, the Night Elven Forest and such, and wow, where you've got purples, and of course purples because I'm the purple queen here. There are all sorts of ways you can paint a tree, and it's not just brown and green. You can have serious fun, and plus this is a magical tree, so who's to say it has to be traditional colors? You're doing ice blue and silver. Oh, that's gonna be so cool, Bunny! Ice blue and silver. Just make sure you guys use the tag. Well, I don't know if one of you guys is posting it on. I know Crimson has a Twitter account. I don't know if Bunny does, and if Bunny does, I need to follow it because I want to make sure I see this. But Crimson has a Twitter account, so one of you guys make sure that this thing is posted when it's done so we can all see it. Especially so Theraval can see it. All right. Oh, looks like I see a silver spot. So sometimes the light's your friend, and I can see at my angle there's a little bit of a glare right there, which means I must have missed something on his foot. It's so easy to do. ReaperCon. ReaperCon, I can't wait for ReaperCon. I really can't wait for ReaperCon. I think we're going to have a ton of fun. But the thing is, I'm doing Gen Con 2 weeks later. That's 2 travel cons in 3 weeks. Not to mention what it's doing to my poor game schedule. My poor September's game schedule is going to be so totally out the window. And I was looking too. Of course, my bi-weekly games all fall on the weeks of ReaperCon and Gen Con. Naturally, because they have to. So I think there's going to be some... Oh, I heard something. Oh, thank you for following, Bitter Kiwi. All right, now, if you don't you don't have to post in chat that I love to talk. My big mouth will serve me well in this case. But I'm curious if are you truly a Bitter Kiwi? Are you from Australia? Listen, if you don't want to say, that's fine. That's no problem. But I am curious. And hello, and thank you so much for following. I'm glad you found me. And if you haven't been, I don't know how long you've been on, but I'm painting, and it's actually the chat thing's notices right there. I'm painting Burgo Ironbelly from Reaper Minis. And he is my husband's character, Yento, in our Skull and Shackles game. Which is why I'm wearing a Pathfinder shirt today. Also, I'm talking about Gen Con, and this shirt is actually what they are from Gen Con. Oh, not from New Zealand, no. Just a fan of the flight. Oh, well, Kiwis are cool. Absolutely. So, but thank you again. I totally appreciate it. If you have any questions or you want to chat about anything, don't hesitate to post. Alrighty. So, I'm just going through and looking for things that I'm not totally thrilled with in touching up stuff, because I actually want this, even though this is for gaming, I still want it to look really nice because it's for the love of my life. Oh my lord, we're married. We've been married for, will be 24 years the end of this month. Thank you so much for following, Padfootpaw. Let's see, I'm trying to think if that's Padfoot, if that's a Harry Potter reference, because there was Padfoot, I believe, in Harry Potter, or just like dogs or cats, or... But hello, welcome to my stream, and thank you so much for following. What else do I see? I do see a little bit right there that looks like it needs to be touched up. Yeah, Bunny's painting all these dragon toe beans. Oh, I know, it's like endless because of course they have, because they have so many of them. I feel like I get on that, and that's like that's one of the points I find I kind of have to power through, is painting the toe beans or the claws or things like that I don't find really exciting. I'm going to add a little white because it's such a thin area. I'm only really going to get is a little white. I'm not going to, it's not a huge amount of room for highlighting here. And I said, this is for gaming. I want it to look nice, but I don't have to go too crazy. When I do the tree, I'm probably going to try to go a little bit more crazy with that. All right. I said, this is how I work. I notice things and I want to fix them up right away, even if I'm working on something else. Because I was working on the ladle, which I want to put a little bit of a highlight on. Oh, thank you so much for following, Wisteria Wanderer. And I love looking at people's names. Just need, let's see, Crimson, just need battle ready, not parade. Yes, battle ready, not parade ready. Yeah, I mean, and actually, when you're making these for a game where you're going to have a lot of handling of the minis, especially metal ones, no matter how much you seal them, it's going to rub off after a while too. You'll get, like, the corners especially, the paint tends to rub off. I'll go back in and I'll touch them up, but due to the fact that they're not just meant to be displayed, they're meant to be used. They don't have to be perfect. And one of the things I believe I mentioned before in the stream is I do sort of like to compare minis to impressionistic paintings. If you look really close at an impressionistic painting, and it's not the way you're supposed to look at it, you'll see all the lines and dots because it's very sketchy. It's not smooth at all. And you can get away with that on a game mini because you're not meant to stare at it really close up. I mean, photographs, I've been told a lot of times that the photographs of minis, it's not as good as when they actually get the mini and they see the real thing. It's because when you're looking at a photograph, you zoom in and you can pick up every little mistake that you have on these. But when you're gaming, do you really care if you have that? You just want something that looks good on your table. And you're going to look at it from you're going to look at it from your chair. You're not going to look at it super close up. Unless you're, I guess, one of those people, but honestly, it's a game. Have fun. That's all that really matters. So, let's see. I want to do a little highlighting on the ladle. Excuse me. I think, because I have a lot of different silvers, I think I'm just going to try to pick something that's a little bit lighter. Buddy, you're sending me pictures now. I will look at them later. I promise. Unless you... It's good. I suppose I could snag them off my phone and just post them up here, but... I will definitely look at it later. I can't wait. I said, well, I like to say impressionistic paintings and miniatures are more sketchy than an Indian call center. Only the illegit ones, for sure, yes. I've had my favorite sketchy comparison is I like to use Picasso. Picasso did sketches. I think actually one of my relatives, I'm going to say it's my cousin. One of my cousins actually has a Picasso sketch. So I know how sketchy he is. And I'll say, like, if I'm playing a game, sometimes I'll look at a situation and go, that situation is more sketchy than a Picasso sketch. That just happened in Hex Good Heroes. I was reading, actually we all were reading a lot more into the situation than what was really going on. But it was so sketchy the way it was being presented to us, and I loved it. And I think the GM had a lot of fun screwing with our minds. So, all right, so I think I'm gonna take a little bit of my dark color and I'm gonna mix them with my light because I feel like they're too far apart value-wise. When you do highlights, you want to still keep them kind of close-ish. I believe they said the safe bet is to go about, if you had a silver, because I'm looking at silver, if you had like a grayscale value scale, and I don't. Maybe one of these days I'll get myself a color wheel and I'll get myself something like that. But you only want to go about 2 steps lighter or darker depending on what you do from your original color. You don't want it so far, unless it said it's like something really small where you need a strong highlight. But on this, it's not going to be as strong a highlight on the top because I don't want it to look, I'm trying to make sure I don't have like a harsh line. So, alright, so I'm basically mixing, here I can actually pull this over and I can show you. So basically this is what I'm doing, and I'm being very careful when I sort of stir this around, but I'm also getting it on my brush. Don't mix your paints with your good brushes. I can't say it enough. And I'm going to sort of put a bit of a highlight on this domed edge where the light would hit it a little more. And if I find that the transition is too strong, then I tend to go back in either quickly, I'll do when I'm wet, I'll try to mush in some color to blend it on the spot. This actually doesn't look bad. Hold on, I'm going to bring it over here by my light. It could probably use a little blending. Or you can glaze it, which means you just thin down a paint. Of course, I don't know if I'll bet you all of you paint minis on here, which is really cool. But I'll still explain in case anybody, decides, anybody's watching the video later. You can also take and you can kind of glaze a bit of color, which means you add a lot of water to it, so it's super, super thin, and you just kind of go over it. And I'm sort of doing more of the glazing thing here. And I try to feather it a bit into it. You want to try to hide as much of your transition lines as you can. And I'm going to look at it under my strong light. And thank you for oh gosh, that sounds bad. Thank you for falling possibly prone. I certainly hope that doesn't happen a lot where you end up prone. That's really bad on the game. In the it really happens when it happens to your characters in a game. Nothing like giving that melee. Although it's good if somebody's shooting you, I guess. Sorry, I'm going to paint off screen a little bit just because I have a light and I can see a little better over here. The camera light's not bad, but it's not quite strong as my light over here. Alright, I think that's good. So hello, how are you? And I said I'm painting this little guy. He's from my husband's he's my husband's character, but he's also a Reaper mini known as Burgo Ironbelly, and he's clearly a halfling chef, pirate chef. And I've actually wrote up a little bit about him. I put in a graphic. That was one of the things I was doing before the stream, was trying to figure out how to make it look good, because Streamlabs and their the way they do fonts are not real great. So I want something a little more clear. I am so right now I'm actually highlighting some of these edges, and I like to take and do the thing where I turn my brush on its side and try to just clip where the point is. There's a little sharp edge here, and that way it's edge lining. Crimson would know all about edge lining, as he paints a ton of Space Marines. That is a common thing in for GW, for Warhammer painting, and a lot of others, I would assume. But I notice they seem to talk about it a lot when it comes to Warhammer figures. And I'm basically just going to edge line. And I'm going to put a little bit of a highlight in the bottom of this ring, because the light would be coming down on it. And I'm going to do it again over here. Just hit it with the side of my brush. This is not dry brushing. Okay, this is definitely not dry brushing. I have more paint than that. So Kiwi, I'm a noob when it comes to painting. So I can ask which you paint, metal, resin, or plastic. Metal holds the details better. So they all have their pros and cons. Resin and plastic, to me, resin holds the details pretty good. Plastic, or actually I should say, there's Reaper bones, which the old Reaper bones, the white ones, and I have one here. Here, you'll see my sneak peek at my next mini here. This chickie. This one's not bad, but the bones tended to wash out some of the details. Plastic, yeah, I mean, plastic probably needs the least amount of prep. Just take a knife to cut off the low lines. But, I don't know, I find I like metal better because the details are so sharp, and they're sharper than on the plastic ones. That's my opinion. Feel free to try them all and make up your own mind. The other thing too is the cost. Metal minis, let's face it, do cost a lot more than plastic minis. I mean, these guys are at least double than these guys. I would say, I think, at least at this point. I think these guys are about $3, and these guys are about $6 or more, depending on how big. Also, the thing I find about metal, especially in large minis, if you want to build like I have Cthulhu over there, or a big dragon or whatever, I find that plastics actually is a lot easier. And when it's so big, the details don't wash out like they do of the small guys. But they're also a lot lighter. They're a lot more easy to assemble. Plastic is easier to assemble. Glue tends to stick it better. Metal, I've had some real, oh my god, I've had some nightmares with metal and trying to glue minis together. The worst one was, I call it the Rafflecopter, but it's a dwarven helicopter from Games Workshop. And the rotor blades, I was going to have a sip of drink, but wait. So the rotor blades actually, basically the centerpiece was cast with one rotor blade, and you had to glue the others in. but they're so heavy that they just fall off. I mean, I pinned it and they still break off. They don't break off. They hold on, but you can tell it's broken because it moves. So I think just for if you want to try the hobby and you haven't figured out if you really like it yet, stick with the plastic stuff for now. And it said you don't even have to go with the expensive paints or anything if you're just trying it. If you decide you like it, then go with the more expensive paints. Although, as I've said a few times, I do use craft paint, which is, sacrilegious to some. Most of my paints are these. But the black and white is good because I use so much of it. Yeah, I know. That's one reason why GW's got rid of metal. Yeah. I think it just, that piece must have been just such a pain in the neck to cast that they had to do it that way, but it was awful to put it together. And I still have issues with it. Although I think right now it's been holding together for quite a while, but I don't really handle it. And to me, you need to have it be solid if you're going to handle these in games, and that's what they're made for. The Tau broadsides were horrible. And why were they horrible? Feel free to expound on that. I don't actually know why they're horrible. God. Still finding little bits. In fact, metal also chips more. I'm even using a holder. I'm not handling it, and I feel like right here, unless it's... Yep, it looks like it chipped slightly. So metal will chip a lot more too on you. Plastic, the paint will stick on. And when it comes to Reaper Bones, you don't even have to prime it. You can, and there are ways to do it, but you got to be careful doing it too. I actually don't prime my Reaper Bones. I wash it. So the answer to why the Tau broadsides were horrible, the main suit was plastic, but the extra bits that made it into a broadside from the Crisis suit were metal. And then Rathmore said, yeah, the metal bits, apparently Rathmore heard exactly what he's talking about. The metal bits fell apart all the time. And they were so heavy, they broke the ankles. Oh, no. You do not want broken ankles in your army. How would they ever run anywhere? So I hope that's a good answer, Kiwi. I said, I prefer metal because of the details, but maybe if you're just starting, plastic might be better. But try them all. Said, this is just my opinion. Try them all yourself. If you really like this hobby, then buy a little Reaper Metal Mini to try it out on, because they're not priced that badly. $6 isn't too bad at all. Don't do GW, they're just so expensive. Although, as Crimson says there, they also really don't exist anymore. But you can find old GW stuff in stores. Oh, God! I turned that freaking thing off, too. Why in the heck is my bot still doing this? Ah! I'm so mad because I flippin' shut it all off, and I don't know. I'm going to have to go in and redo it. I actually figured out that I had to shut off on Twitch, too. Yeah, but that's on my phone. Let's see if I can get it around here. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Copy, because I'm still recognized as the moderator, and I can have it on 2 different devices. I just want to go to my stream, my channel. And this is going to be funny. Alright, let's see. There you go. Anybody who wants, until I can figure out this problem, I was hoping links were going to work. And I was just going to open it all up because why not? I'm going to have we can't have nice things policy on this Twitch channel. I will allow pretty much anything until somebody goes and screws it up and then we can't have nice things. But hey, maybe that'll never happen. Who knows? Alright. I said, once again, I'm still finding things that I want to touch up. Where did I just see? You know what drives me nuts? Finding something I want to touch up and then I can't find it again to touch it up. I'm also beginning to wonder if it's my light that's... Oh, look at that. There's some stuff that needs... I see some stuff right in that corner that needs to be touched up. And I have the paint color out, I think. Excuse me, folks. I said I'm not picking it up as good under that other light. That light works pretty well, and my glasses work pretty well, but there are times that the other light's just better. Also looks like I gotta redo his toe because I banged off the paint on his toe for somehow. I'm not really sure how. I haven't even touched the mini. I swear, sometimes on metal minis, the paint just falls off. Like, you don't even touch it. It just disappears. Right, so I was highlighting the thingy here. Do I wanna? Let's see. I'm gonna add a little more paint. I'm gonna try to highlight these edges a bit too. A little bit of a cut there, so I'm going to go underneath it to highlight it. I feel like I want to highlight underneath, but it doesn't make like something on this rim, but it doesn't almost make sense to do so because it's underneath. So Kevin says, so the feet were metal, the backpack were half metal, the guns and the shoulders and the arms were metal, and the ankles were tiny ball joints with tiny supports. So basically what you're saying is they were tiny ball joints with tiny supports that were trying to hold up, 5 pounds of weight because of all the metal. And that doesn't work very well. Admittedly, even the Reaper stuff, you can have issues with some of their bigger models collapsing on themselves because they're so heavy up top. Like I've heard people with, I think, believe it or not, Tianot, which I'm praying mine will never do that, where they're so heavy it'll just collapse on each other. Also, don't store them anywhere where it's warm. I actually had to put a base underneath that because mine warped. It was a warm, basically when I was going to cons, I would have it in my car, and well, when you know it got hot in my car during the summer because it was only like a month between conventions, so I got lazy and didn't want to pack my car when I was just going to go a couple weeks, a few weeks later, and just have to break it all out again. Well, I guess I should have done that because the thing freaking warped. So I had to put a base underneath it. At some point I may actually do something with that base. But right now it sits down here actually with and my basically I got a little hallway that goes upstairs and it sits in a shelf that's in that hallway, my Maldricklar. I'm trying to figure out what that is. So Kevin said they revamped, back to the discussion about the Tau, why they're so bad. Worked great on the crisis suits, which had no metal at all, but yeah, the broadsides are bad. What in the Rathmore, what happened? When you come back in a minute, what happened? Because I really want to fix the stream. Oh, hand me the links. I'm sorry, you must have missed what I just said. Hand me the links, because I've tried to shut off the bots to stop doing this, but they're not letting me friggin' do it. So if you want, send me... Yeah, no, don't be sorry. It's not your fault, okay? I'm not happy. I've gone in there and tried to make this link friendly. I want people to be able to post links. And what's really annoying is you have the bots that come in and say, hey, I can make overlays and stuff, and they can post their links. But you guys can't, and that freaking pisses me off so much. So I am really trying to work out this problem. But if you want, DM me, send me. Yeah, I'm a graphic designer, not a tech specialist. And I'm over 50, so tech is lost to me. If you want, please DM me the picture, and I will link it in. I'll put it in myself. You guys did. You can always click on my name here and send me a message, and I'll see it because the little number will pop up above the messages. And you should be able to copy it there. Kevin has my Facebook access too, so he messaged me there, and I can. Yeah, anybody message me anything over any other forms of social media, I can just pick it off my phone and put it right in the chat. Although now I think I'm now 2 people on my own chat on my own thing, because I have 2 devices running it. So I'm working on it. I swear to God, and I really hate people being timed out when they didn't do anything wrong. I even took away the bad word one too, because I'm like, I was reading the terms of service about what's considered for mature, what you consider for mature audience, and language actually I don't think was listed in that. Well, I'm gonna, this is supposed to be a somewhat family friendly stream. I'm gonna edit myself. I'm not gonna edit you guys posting stuff in chat. So, unless it gets too much. If it's too much, then I'd have to. But once again, if we can have nice things, let's have nice things. Yay. All right. So, I'm sorry, Rathmore. That really bothers me so freaking much that you got shut down. All right. So, I think, other than the base, he's finished. And I gotta remember what I did with my base color. Oh, it's right here. I've got wood, so I'm probably gonna have to pop him off. I hate doing this. At some point I'm gonna have to pop him off the holder, just because I want to paint around the sides. So I'm using, blue tack to hold them on here, because I love these holders, but some of my minis, so I'm going to pop them off anyways. Ugh. And I'm just going to be really careful handling them. I love these, but unfortunately this little circle is bigger than a lot of the Reapers that, don't have like an inch base. So I'm going with steel brown because that's a good brown color. Oh, that's... So I'm using that. I found I really do like this for brown, and although at some point I think I'm going to order one of their other wood triads. This makes me nervous. I hate picking up metal minis because you tend to screw them up. So I just want to paint, get a base coat of that steel brown on there. Don't get on his sandals, you silly brush. So is everybody having a good Saturday out there? Because I tell you what, I am, because I'm here with all of you painting. So I actually think that makes it a good Saturday. Just a bit warm. I swear I'm like in the night, although it's starting to warm up here now, and I think it's going to get fairly. I know tomorrow it's going to be close to 90, but I mean, like you guys, it seems like everybody, it's like 100 degrees, other than or bad weather or your winter, other than New England. New England's highs in the 80s. It's not that humid, or it wasn't yesterday. I haven't really been outside today. I do feel like it's starting to warm up. So yeah, how warm is a bit warm, Ball GM? Glad you're not in Texas. 100, is it like 100 degrees in Texas? I think I did see you had like down there in Texas. I think I saw extreme heat warnings. So you know the heat index is like 125 or more. Hey, Goblin Squire, how are you? It's so good you made it on here. I hope everybody can see this. My basement stays a little better, but I'll tell you what will be nice. It will be nice when I get my own studio upstairs, and I will have an air conditioner in there. All right, I'm gonna let me take a look. Yep, there's missed spots. I was gonna say, how are you? I was gonna say, you're doing okay. That's okay, Goblin Squire. You know what? I will take people whenever. Especially, well, I'll take anyone. I love anybody who's lurking about, anybody who's just hanging out. I love you all because it means you're helping me get to affiliate. And when we get to affiliate, we can have more fun. That's the way I look at it. I know it means I can get subscriptions too, but that's, yeah, whatever. I just want to have more fun with all of you. And if I can have channel points and things like that, that's more fun, you know, and make emojis and when I have time, which is kind of funny though. Right now my time is so limited because my work is so flippin' crazy. And admittedly, I do a lot. I will do stuff at work if I have got my work done. I will come up with logos and things. Come on, I see a spot. All right. By the way, when it comes to wood, I don't really care if my paint is hugely even because it's wood. So if my paint's a little uneven, I mean, that's just the wood. There we go. I'm just turning around and see if I missed anywhere though, because white is not acceptable. Also, when you try to paint it, try to go with the grain. That way if it's uneven too, it'll, you know, it'll look more like it's part of the wood. And if you're going across, you know, you want if there's any brush texture at all, you want it to go with your grain. I know it's mini painting, everything should be super smooth, but there's apparently people that say that's not true. That shouldn't be super smooth. All right, I see something I need touching up. Also, by the way, I am a brush looker. But if you ever notice, I also make sure I clean my brushes off before I do that. I do not really like the taste of paint. I see this and I don't like this. There we go. And I see, I said painting is a lot of touching up, so I'm going to try to gently let that dry too. You can get most of your vitamin C from orange paint. Yeah, sure. No. Sadly, it doesn't taste like orange, you know? At least it doesn't smell like orange. Wouldn't that be, you know, it has been suggested maybe they should make paints that actually are flavored. It's still not great for you. I still don't recommend you eat paint. Even if it's non-toxic, I still don't think it's a great idea. It's not good for your body to put that stuff in there. I know, right? Right, Ball GM? They do not put food supplements in paint? Sadly, no. Or how about at least flavors? I mean, food supplements are one thing. How about flavors, you know? I mean, can you imagine, you know, this one being like a, you know, some sort of a milk chocolate paint flavored paint? That would be so good. Oh, bitter kiwi. Yeah, at least it's not radium. So it sounds like to me you might know the story. What the heck were they called? The Watch Girls? The ones who used to paint back in the day before things were really mass produced and they had ways to do it. They would paint glow in the dark paint on watches. So you could see that, so they would basically glow at night. And you could see them at dark areas. Well, there was like radium. Was it radium? Is that the right term? Yeah, radium. There was like radium or something. There was radiation in the paint. And the girls would lick their brushes because they had to have such a fine point to get all those little tiny, all the little tiny lines for the numbers. I don't know if there were numbers on them too, but maybe. And as a result, a lot of them died from cancer from doing this. Who knows? All right. I think that's drying nicely. Now, what I like to do in wood is I do like to put a wash on it because I think it gives the nice... I think it gives a good texture that wood. And, one thing about the GW is I do find that I like the fact they're not super shiny. But to me, they really enhance the wood grain. I think that's what I want to say. I'm shaking this up and there's almost like nothing in it. Probably, I spilled this like 3 times, so... It's no point now in saving it. Actually, I'm going to take this. It's not great for washes, but it'll do. Because I'm actually don't have a lot of area in here. Alright. And I'm just going to paint this on there, and it should enhance the wood grain really nicely. And I don't put a highlight on because I've tried like dry brushing. There's a texture. You technically could, but I don't like the texture of it. And I find just these 2 steps make a pretty good looking wood. You want to really work it in there. Yeah, the GW Holy Trinity, and I am with Kevin on this, or Crimson. Kevin is Crimson. The GW Holy Trinity of washes is Agric shade, non-oil, and I have the third one, Reckon Flesh. Yeah, no, that's Sepia Seraphim. Seraphim Sepia. I'm running out of this too. Reckon Flesh shade. I agree. I love those 3. This has got a nice reddish hue to it too. I find I like this especially if you get like some really fleshy monsters. The Reckland Flesh shade really looks good. It really enhances it. Alright, so where was I? Of course, stopping in the middle of talk is probably not a great idea. You want to try to get it on. You don't want to go over things while they're drying because if you do, it'll screw up the paint. If it's regular paint, it can cause it to be bumpy. All right. Yeah, that's true. Flesh shade is really good for golds, copper, and bronze. Okay, if you want to go with that sort of reddish hue, yeah, absolutely. And I think that is a great color. A lot of times I do like to go with black for my metallics because of the contrast. But, hey, that's what I mean by mini painters are all different. All right, so I think I'm about done with this guy. He is ready for I'm going to hit him with sealer, a matte sealer. I'm going to let him dry for a sec because I want to pick him up gently and I want to show him on the camera so you can all see the end result. And I'll be getting a picture of him to put up on my social media stuff. Grobin Squire says, yeah, I use the Reckland Flesh more for gold than I do for flesh. You know, I said I tend to go with black, but you know what? Maybe I will try it on in gold. Absolutely makes sense to me in my mind. I don't know why I haven't tried it yet. This is another reason why I really enjoy doing this stream is you guys tossing me ideas that I haven't personally thought of. still not happy with this friggin' strap. This is the way I work. I look and I go, eh. And sometimes I will play with things a lot. I'm not happy with that either. Yeah, and I look at it. I straightened his strap out, but now it looks too small. What did I do to strap? I believe, looking at that, that's why I'm so happy. I'm pretty happy the fact that I'm good at seeing colors, and I'm pretty sure it is ruddy leather is what I did those straps with. No, it looks too thin. And now I look at it, I also think maybe his strap is a little further back. So maybe I'll throw this back on here carefully. Because I don't want to touch it now. Sometimes things on minis are a little hard to figure out what's what. If they're not, I'm going to change his strap because it looks like to me he's got hair. And I'm covering up the hair. Hold on, I got to pull this off because I can't see quite well enough what I want to do. I am going to have a game at some point, I think, for chat of what is this thing. So basically, I want to show, like, different, you know, like something on... In fact, I may do this with the next mini I want to do. And I may go, what is this thing? And have you all tell me what you think it is. Alright, so I'm going to take, and I'm going to actually go over that, because that's hair. It's a halfling. He has hairy feet. Right, and yeah, Kevin, that's right. So, to go back on chat, because I'm like focusing on this. So, Rod said, I like GW contrast snakebite leather and skeleton horde. I assume that's this. Well, you know what I have right here? Yeah, that's not the right one. I have it right here. Look, I have snakebite leather. I love this color when it was in their regular paint line, and then they got rid of it, and I was so sad. And then they brought it back for contrast, and it was like, yay! So happy. Alright, I'm going to add... I realize it's got hair in his feet. I don't think I ever really painted. There we go. Yeah, exactly. Kevin said, Carol and I, who's Carol's me, and I get a kick out of snakebite leather because remember the old Citadel paint. Absolutely. It was friggin' awesome color. And Goblin Squire, who is, I love Goblin Squire. By the way, I gotta test out a link here because I have no idea how it works. I have a shout out command and I should probably use it. I'm trying to figure out how I actually use it. I assume I do at. By the way, I'm also like going through the minefield of brushes and stuff to get to my, let's see if this works. I said, I'm not tech. Yes, it works! Also, let's see. Who else should I, let's see, I need to do Rathmore. Because he streams. Oh, is he not on here anymore? Boo, maybe he's not on here anymore. Because it didn't friggin', the command didn't happen, that's why. You know, it might help if I did it right. I'm a designer, not a techie. Yeah, I forgot that. There we go. And I know Bald GM is going to be streaming as well. The Bald. Hey, put the command in. There we go. So, yay! Yay, that one's working. That makes me happy. So follow these lovely people. They all stream. If I missed you, feel free. I may reset that too. So if people want to throw shout outs in there, they can. But I'm still playing with the controls and still trying to figure out all this. But absolutely, remember, it said follows are free and they are very helpful. Yeah, so yeah, Ball GM goes, thank you, I need to learn that too. Yeah, it's exclamation point. There, I actually looked online and did research on commands and such. And so I found that one in particular, and I'm like, I really like that one. Let's see. So I fixed his foot. Oh, I was going to add a little bit of brown onto the hair because he's got brown hair, and he does have foot hair because he's a halfling. All right, this reward. And I'm kind of just going to side brush and I said, try to hit the tops of things. All right. Yeah, there's a big one. I have lurk on there too, but I was being told by, I think, Carlo, that could be a problem. But it's on there if people want to use it. I will live dangerously. Haha. All right. So what do people think? I think my hubby will like him. Let's see if he's focused. Oh, maybe he's way too high. What am I doing here? Let me switch to Streamlabs. There we go. So what do people think of him? Yeah, sorry, I didn't realize I had it so up high. And then, because I actually have Twitch on top of OBS, and Twitch lags a little. There we go. And then I will give him a little spin. A spin-a-rooney. He's so adorable. I think the mini is adorable. Reaper really did a nice job on... Reaper did a great job. Reaper does, their sculptors, I mean, they put so many phenomenal details. I can't say enough how much I love the fact he's got a knife and fork on his hat. I love the ladle. I love everything that gives him personality, and I find that with a lot of their minis. So, he looks good for an Arsling. Oh, okay, I know, and you can't really attend my weekday ones, Ball GM, because you're asleep. It's my problem. I love this stream because some of my friends from overseas can watch it, but I stream too late for them on weekdays. I just need to get enough subscribers so I can retire, right? And then, or just hit retirement age, which is going to happen first before I get enough subscribers to quit my job. That said, it would be cool to do this full time, but reality's reality. All right. So, actually, yeah, that's right, Bob GM. You'll see this later. So I will put the next one on here. Although I wonder, she might actually, she might actually fit on there, but this one, okay, so this one's special because I am doing so well to get to affiliate. I want to do a thank you for all you guys, or at least for one of you guys. She's going to be a giveaway. Oh, wow, she is very white. This is a problem I have with bones in this camera. It tends to wash them out. Trying to find an angle I could have her at. Actually, let me kill this light. There we go. That's a lot better. So, basically, I'm Muse's Touch. Muse is an inspirational figure. I have inspiration all over. I want to paint her up like a Muse-like figure, and I want to give her away on the stream to one of my followers. I can't have subscribers yet, but one of my followers, and somebody who's actually on when I do the giveaway. Don't worry, it will be well announced. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to paint her up on stream so you can all see what I'm doing. And hopefully one of you guys will like her enough you'll want to take her home. So, I love this mini. I've actually already painted her. Maybe at some point I'll actually go grab the real one. And she is a character. I basically created... for the life of me, I can't remember the name of her. I created a character for Pathfinder 1 late in the game who is a cantor. And basically what that is, it's a bard. It's a cleric with bard abilities. So it's a cleric who can do inspire courage and other such things. And I love the concept. I'm actually a church musician when at the time we had choirs in churches. We will be going back next fall. So that is her. And I love this model. I love that dress. I'm going to probably do her in purples and such. So, let's see. So she's next up on my list. If anybody has her, if you have her, because she was a Kickstarter model, if you have her in your stuff, feel free to pull her out and paint along. I'm not going to get, what time is it? It's 2:06 Eastern. So I'm not going to get very far with her. So, if you want to paint along, that would be cool. So she's the next one up. And then I think I'm going to do a barbarian figure, another character for my husband, because I got to try to get, we've got games that are coming back to being in person. So I got to get the minis painted for us. I need to still order my mini that's going to be the same game for that the barbarian is. Yeah, Kevin, I don't have any of the Bones Kickstarter things to make sure. Yeah, I have like, the thing is, I have like I've bought into every Bones Kickstarter. So, I might have a problem. But I love it. I don't ever, I've got a shelf of shame and a drawer of shame. And I guess you could say a behind the bed of shame, because I have a bunch of the larger boxes stuck behind my bed. But that's her. I'm going to put the light back on. Unfortunately, I mean, she's going to be a little washed out until I get some paint on her. And I think I will get some paint on her, because I still have 20 minutes. But we have to figure out who I might want to raid. Wait, Ball GM is... Oh, wait, is Ball GM actually... He's on now? Oh, we're going to raid him when we're done. That'll be fun. I've been wanting to raid my friends since I decided to do this. So, one of the things I like to do, I love the Reaper Fair Skin Triad. When I'm painting fair skin, they've got a bunch of triads for all sorts of skin types. Since I'm painting her based off of me, I'm light skinned, so I'm not so light skinned that I like burn like crazy. But I'm gonna start with this because I always start with that. I always start with that and the eyes. So actually, I'm gonna do the eyes first. So the first thing I do is I take an off-white, so I like bleached linen. So I start with bleached linen for my whites. If people ever miss this lesson, it's going to be on every single mini that I have eyes on. We already had the discussion, I believe, at some point about the best way to handle eyes is to buy models that don't have eyes. Which is not wrong, but there are plenty of great ones that do. And I'm going to just paint in the whites. And I'm going to go over the lines because I just don't care, because I haven't painted anything else yet. I like doing this too because it gets it done and out of the way. To turn around to get it in the right. I see how it goes. Okay. Having a little trouble seeing this eye, but now I see how it goes. I find too when I put down a little bit of paint, it does actually make it easier to see. Yeah, helmet cheat, my favorite. Of course it is, Crimson. That's why all your Space Marine... Wait! Wait, but yet you made me paint the guy without the helmet. Jerk. Your Forge World mini didn't have a helmet over his head. I had to paint. Although, I will say this. They did really great job. They did a really good job on those minis of carving in like the eyeballs and stuff. So it was actually really relatively easy to paint the eyes. I will never say it's easy to paint the eyes. But it was a lot easier than a lot of others where you're kind of making up where you put it in. What is resit? What do you mean by resit, Kevin? Resin. Okay, I thought that might have been a typo, but I don't know everything. No, I'm maybe 50 and old, but I don't know everything. There's a lot I have to learn. And I was just wondering if there was some term that I was missing there. Yes, Forge World is resin. But it's in the sculpt too. Alright, I tend to dot eyeballs, but it said you can also draw them across. I just like it because I can make them a little bit rounder than drawing it across. But do what you need to do to make it work. The other thing is a lot of people will paint them off to the sides or whatever because it's easier than trying to nail it in the center. I do agree. But I'm a masochist. I like to put it in the center. Here we go. Millie, that's one thing I think I'd like to do is probably start trying to do eyes in other locations because it is expressive. I don't disagree. It is actually a very expressive way to paint. Yento actually is looking off to the side a bit, so... Alright. I need... Well, I can... I was going to just steal from in here, but I think the color I want, I sort of put paint over it. That was not the same color. I'm going to just use dark highlights from Reaper. Here, I'll show the paint. Oh, these things are so... Reaper hopefully will get better labels at some point. But I've noticed the labels for years, they fade. Alright. So I want to put up a little bit of... I put my browns together and grabbed the wrong one. Alright. I also do use my smaller brush for this. I use my 3/0 instead of my... what the hell is that? 0? 0. Here's going to be the fun part. Of all the parts of this, actually, believe it or not, the eyeballs sort of are annoying, but this part to me, because you do have to be a little precise with it, doing the lining. I find if I start on the outside and I work my way towards the middle, it helps. And just edge my brush inward. And make a mask. Rod says, I try my best in every minute to do the eyes. I'm getting much better. You know, but that's a great point. The only way you actually improve in this hobby is by doing. I mean, you can learn how all of us do it, but you have to do it yourself in order to improve. We can't control the brush for you. If you want that, then hire me. I paint minis on commission, so you can always hire me to do it. In fact, I think Ann Forrester said people would actually hire just to do eyes on their minis, which I thought was amusing. I was like, hey, that's not bad. She charged like $1 to paint the eyes because it wouldn't take her that long. Where is that line? I think I said I'm sort of starting out and then I kind of sneak my way in. I take a look to check out like the distances between the white and the pupils, and if I'm happy with that and they look more or less the same or passable, I just leave it. Let everything, and make sure you let things dry too. Granted, it's acrylic paint and it does dry really fast, but I don't want to blend it, I want to cover it. So, fair shadow. She's got gloves on. She has a look. I also, when I do this too, the eyes also typically look at the mini and figure out what else is flesh toned. And I think right in, this is going to be washed out, and my hand is too high again. Right in here, under her glove, I believe that is flesh toned, and other than her face, that's it. I wonder why. I swear to God, I did test the location of my camera to where my hand is before I came on stream. It's a fair shadow. Sad thing is, I want to hang out for the Bald GM's stream, but I may have to actually go. A friend of mine is dragging me off to the store to discuss Warhammer. But I want to stay a few minutes for it. Alright. So now I'm going to paint the flesh on there, and I want to leave just a little bit, and I mean a little bit, of the dark line. And if I get a little bit on there, so be it. I can always, if I go too far, I can either wash it out, because I went a little too far on the top part there. But I also can go back over it. I think I'm going to do that. I'm just going to go back over it. Hey, I said, I just proved that I'm human to you. I also found when I'm doing like this sort of work, now this is a personal preference, I actually do kind of like my paints being a little bit thicker. Not like, not super thick, not super dry. I still want flow to it, but a little thicker. I find I have a little more control. I also want to kind of cover this stuff up too. I don't want a huge amount of flow because then it goes into areas, it goes all over the place and I lose control of it. Maybe I'll leave that. I kind of like... Actually, I think I'm going to leave it like that. And leave basically the dark, her like entire, like she's got eyeshadow on. And then... I'll even go into her hair. And then when I'm done with that, I'll just take it and paint, just base coat the rest of her face. I said, I'm not being persnickety here. I will go back and touch up things after. Alright. Oh, before I go today, I mean, obviously I'll post it out there on the internets, but I cannot do a stream on Monday because I'm going to a barbecue. Whoops. I'm just going to add a little color to her elbows. So there'll be no stream on Monday, but you know, Rod, let me get, oh, that, yeah, I believe that's true, right? You have something else you'll be busy with next Saturday, won't you? Wink, wink, nod, nod. So see, you guys are going to show up next Saturday to make up for the fact that they won't be in chat. Oh, that's Wednesday? Well, then you won't be around for my... I'm doing a stream on... I'm going to start streaming on Wednesday, which is my point. I was thinking I want to do 3. I wanted to see how this went, how much I liked it. And after 2 streams, I am friggin' thrilled with how it's going. Way better than I expected. I would have said I would have been happy with like 5 people on this stream talking. And I've been having 10 to 20, so... Oh, PortCon's this week. Oh, okay. Yeah, hopefully next year I will return to PortCon and bring it, but I just wasn't quite ready to do it this year. Alright, what do I want to do with this? I might play with the eyes a little more, because I am not... My husband's out in the deck working, or somebody's out in the deck. It could be the neighbor, I guess. Her lips are a little washed out. I'm just going to put in some lines here, so I have an idea where things should be shadowed. Ooh. It's the weekend of barbecues because we're having a barbecue birthday party for me tomorrow, so yay! Which I think is what he's out there doing. He's must be moving stuff around. Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can get in there. There we go. And from where I'm sitting, that looks pretty good. All right. Let's see. I have got 7 minutes left. I can put the Netslaves coat on. I said I love their triad as is. So I put on the fair shadow, fair skin. So this will be fair skin. I don't need too much. Although I could probably use the pokey tool in it. Pokey tool. And I want to, let's see, I always start with the nose. Don't ask me why. I always start with the noses when I start layering up. Maybe because it's the highest thing there. And then I do the cheeks. I'm going to think about it, and I just kind of paint around. I leave only like the deepest recesses. Also find, strangely enough, even though I feel like it should be shadowed, that under the nose needs to be highlighted. This is not highlight, this is just the main color. and the chin, if I can get in there. All right. And then the highlight. And the highlight I tend to reserve for the ones I really, only the highest areas, period. So that would be her nose, the end of her nose, those cheeks, maybe a little bit on her forehead, because a lot of times the forehead has hair coming down over it, so it sort of hides it. Let me do the other cheek. And her chin. And maybe a little bit on her elbows. All right. I think that's a decent start. If I can figure out where the hell to put my hand. That's a good start on her. And remember, someone on this channel who follows me and who happens to be around on the day I give it away and said, don't worry, I will make sure everybody knows when that is. Somebody is going to take her home. And it's at some point, if I can remember where the original one is. I don't think it's on the shelf behind me. Shelf behind me is a lot of PCs we use in our home games, but she was a character that travels around with me. But somebody will win her. And I look forward to giving it away. So, as I said, no stream on Monday, but I will be back on Wednesday at 8:30. So it's slightly later. I am going to move my Monday stream to 7 o'clock because 6 o'clock was just so early. And I think it doesn't really work out well. Oh, Rod, if you're still here, actually, yeah, feedback on my logo. If people want me to, I don't know if I can do it on a beer mug, but if people want, I can absolutely open up a shop where I can have merch. And there I said, there's a painter's joke in there because of the whole washing your brushes in your beer. That happens. I've washed my brushes in my Coke all freaking time. That's a good point. All right, so Coventry Decor actually makes all sorts of glassware. In fact, I'm using one of her glasses. Nobody tell Blizzard because it's the Blizzard logo. But let's see if I can. I don't think I can do this. But, I can kind of do this. So you can kind of see I've got the thing. She makes these glasses. Yeah, I can always see that she has beer. Yeah, I know she's Beer Stein. She's got all sorts of glassware. We might be able to hook you up. I will actually. Come to think of it, the commission that's coming in that I'm probably going to be painting on this is hers. So, but if people want that on, if people want that on t-shirts and such, and maybe I'll get some stickers made and I can hand them out and do giveaways with those. Sure. It doesn't cost me anything to make a store, so I could do it. And I'm actually, if I do say so, I'm happy with the way the logo came out, and I wouldn't mind wearing stuff with it on there. I don't want to seem like I'm an egotistical maniac. I really am not. I give all the credit to a lot of this to you guys. You guys make the stream so much fun to do. And I want to thank you, all of you who tuned in today. I want to thank anybody who watches this later on demand. But I will say this, I think we have more fun when it's live. So feel free to pop by when it's live and say hello, because I will answer your questions and chat with you. I love having you guys here. And, oh God, this I just can't put into words how much I appreciate all this. This has been way better than I ever expected. And I think we're going to go raid the Bald GM, who was on here for quite a bit. He's just the coolest. He's a good painter in his own right. I love you all, and have a great day. And let's go raiding! Everybody say, "Rawr!" when we get there. So hopefully I'll see you guys on Wednesday. The Monday stream will be back a week from this week, and it'll be at 7. Don't worry, it's on my social media stuff. It's on the schedule here. You can always confirm all that so you don't end up going, what the hell happened to her? All right, let's see. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this. Because tech, right? Mini Mommy, and thank you, Mini Mommy. You also make it a joy too. I look forward to seeing you all later, and it's what? It's /raid. Why are you doing that? It is really hard to type when I have my paint palette and everything I'm trying to work over. Yeah, I get it. Oh wait, not rate. Yeah, I didn't have to do that. Okay. All right, let's see if this works. Here we go. No, why are you doing it? All right, I'm gonna have to hit the chat button. It's not letting me. What? No, actually, I think it's /raid, not Yeah, it's /raid, not raid exclamation point. That's why. All right, here we go. There we go. Let's all hit him. Yeah, he's new. I think he's new to streaming now, so give him a follow when we get there, because he's awesome. And he's been great to me, so have a great day, everyone. All right, here, right now.